Wrestling is one of the more underrated high school sports. What is your pitch to someone on the fence about getting involved in the sport?
Um, it's funny because there is that in the beginning, but once we start having success, we don't have problems getting kids out. Like this, we run 3 practices right now because we have 3 different groups because our program's so big. And at North, it was the same way. I think at one point at North, we had like 120 kids in the program, which was bigger than the football team. I think we're bigger than the football team right now at South. I think we have 109 or 110 kids in the program right now. So, in the beginning, there is those pitches you have to make because one, it's not something most kids in California did growing up. Two, they have that whole boys touching boys thing, you know, uh, I don't know if they're just scared of the actual competition and they use that or if they feel that way, but that is always something we have to overcome. The singlet, most of them in the beginning don't want to wear the singlet. After 2 years, I can't get them out of the singlet. They wear it under their clothes to school and stuff, right? So it's just those little hurdles. And being a young coach, I had to figure that out. Now I know it's not a problem. I know how to get over those hurdles. So, I mean, I would mostly go into PE classes. I would take a day off work and they would send all the PE classes to me, all the freshman PE classes to me in the wrestling room. And I had a video of like wrestling highlights to make it look exciting, some testimonials, and just my spiel about what I feel wrestling does for people. And as much of a spiel as it is, I think it works because it's heartfelt. I really believe what I'm saying. I feel this sport, you know, is different than most sports, especially team sports. Although there's a team component to it, there's such an individual component to it that is so exposed. Every sport there's individual components, but they're not as exposed as we are. You're out there by yourself, in a gym, in a center of a mat, and you're fighting another human being. You're trying to control another human being. And wrestling not only builds character, it absolutely builds character, but more than that, it exposes character because you're just put in situations that most young people aren't put in normally, and you're put in those situations weekly, week after week after week, and it makes a person really look inside themselves. If you're losing and stuff, you got to look inside. Why am I losing? I'm in a good program. Why am I losing? Am I not doing the right things? Do I not have confidence in myself? Those types of things. And I think that the more young people get to do that at an earlier age, the more balanced and successful and tools they're going to have as they get older. And that's what I relay to people, man. I always tell my kids, you are going to have an advantage over your peers in your adult life because you know how to work hard, you know how to sacrifice, and you're not afraid to put it on the line. And that's what I believe. And that's what I preach while I'm trying to get them out for the team and the entire time they're wrestling in the program is, whether you win or lose, all of this is going to pay off in the long run.